So I just got out of Final Destination 6, or you could call it Wish Upon. But this is a Final Destination movie in disguise. It really is. The thing I thought was so interesting about Wish Upon, because I already knew this movie was going to be trash, it was going to be horrible. But I watched the review for Brad Jones' Midnight Screenings, which I love Brad Jones. I think he's really great with all the midnight screenings he does in his show. But they were saying that you need to go see this, and I was like, okay, I need to really figure out what is the big deal about this. And I really, going into this, I was like, this is going to be terrible, but maybe it'll be funny, but hopefully it won't be like The Bye Bye Man, where The Bye Bye Man this year just, to me, was atrocious, even in the fact that it wasn't so bad that it's good. And this, Wish Upon, I thought was great at being a so bad it's good movie, because you have the basic generic plot of this girl finds a music box that grants wishes, 7 wishes, and whenever it grants a wish, it takes a blood price to kill somebody in return. And that's pretty much it, and it's also just about this teenage girl. So it's really generic in that sense for the plot, and mostly everything else. It is a very generic horror movie, and it's very not scary at all. I was never scared in the slightest at all for any of the scenes or of the whole movie, but I thought that this movie just was hilarious. The way that all these characters die in the Final Destination fashion, because they tried to make this so much like Final Destination. They should have just called it that, but with a wish box. They really should have. It really doesn't make sense why they wouldn't just do that, but I guess it's not the same company that made the Final Destination movies. And the Final Destination movies, say what you will about them, I thought that those are such fun movies, and they took their time with these build-ups to death. And there were instances in this where they tried to build it up, but it didn't work like that, like it did in Final Destination. But so it copied off of that, and it just rips off the basic horror formula like we get in every horror movie. It's not anything innovative or anything new. So it's a terrible movie, but I thought that it was hilarious, and I liked the death scenes. I thought that they cracked me up. The ones in the trailers I'll talk about, because I'll keep the spoiler free, I guess. You don't really need to... there's really not many spoilers. You really know what's going to happen in this movie, but there's so many deaths in the movie that are so hilarious. Like in the trailer where the guy's in the bathtub. In the movie, he gets in the bathtub, slips and falls, hits his head in the back of his head on the bathtub. Water splashes on his face. He gets up and hits his head on the nozzle and then dies. and in such a bad fashion that it's so unscary that it's so unintentionally hilarious. And like the scene with the woman who's licking in the sink with her ponytail with the button right next to her chest to start the garbage disposal, which why would you ever have that in that spot, and regardless? I thought that was hilarious because it was just so outrageously over the top that it feels so, even for a horror movie, so unrealistic and so over the top that it really it got me, and how fun this movie was. It was just such a fun, dumb piece of shit. It really works as a shitty movie, and it's just a fun one. It's not like The Bye Bye Man, where that one, to me, I couldn't stand at all. But this one was so fun because it was just so over the top, and it felt like these characters, even though they're not well written like most of these kind of horror movies, I thought that they were fun. I thought that they were fine characters. I thought that the main girl, Claire, wasn't too bad. I thought that how she's written sucks, and how she's characterized sucks, but I didn't mind the actress's performance, or the performances of most of the actors, honestly, in this. I thought that they were fine. They didn't do anything spectacular with the performance, but they were fine. And I thought that the movie overall, like I said, is objectively a horrible movie, but I thought that I just had so much fun that it gave me more points to it, because it was just so over the top with the death scenes, and with how it's like Final Destination, and how these characters are written so dumbly, and how there's so many things in this movie that just are so unrealistic even for this kind of movie. And horror movies are usually, well, this has got a magic wishing box, but you know, horror movies don't usually follow by real life rules. But I thought that this was just such a fun time, even though it's horrible. It got me. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't like The Bye Bye Man where I couldn't stand it, but this one really just got me in how hilariously bad it was. I laughed a lot of the time in the theater, and I was with a couple other people, and they laughed too. Yeah, and I wasn't, so I was glad I wasn't the only one who thought that this was so hilarious. And I'm so interested to see if we'll get a sequel, because I didn't stay, but I read afterwards that there's a mid-credit scene. So that's interesting. And the mid-credit scene might bring a sequel along, maybe, if this makes enough money. But yeah, this was just such a fun bad movie. I can't help it. I'm sorry. It really got me, and just how fucking horrible it was, but it was so hilarious at the same time, that it was so entertaining throughout, with just how unrealistic it was and how outrageous the deaths were. Even for a horror movie, the deaths were so outrageous that they made me like this movie more than I really think I should. But I thought that it was just awesome. It was just an awesome, horrible movie. But yeah, the Wish Upon just, for me, worked in a sense that it's a horrible film, but it was so fun. It was such a fun time. I really enjoyed it. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.